Gaurav, if I may ask, as Israel has really stepped up its counterattack against Hamas terrorists, do we know of attacks that are coming in from Hamas's side? How fierce is it? Is it still as intense as day one? Have they been broken? Have their military capabilities been broken down by Israeli forces? And how far has that happened?
So to a very large extent, Israel has succeeded in decimating the threat posed by Hamas, at least that military threat, because the number of missiles and rockets that were coming in on day one, right now, the numbers are less than half. If 5,000 rockets came in on day one, those numbers have now reduced to a couple of rockets, but Hamas still retains the capability to strike. We were at Sridot and at Sardot. Some rockets came in, they were neutralized by the Iron Dome system, but the apprehension is that unless every missile battery, okay, so that's the gun position behind me that's going off once again in a big way, decimating the threat across. All of these are indicators that the Israeli army is all set to go in sooner than later. A 24-hour deadline has been given to people in the Gaza Strip to move back, to move to safer areas. Anyone considered seen there close to the fence would be considered hostile beyond that 24-hour deadline as Israel prepares to move in. What has been extremely annoying for people here is the fact that Hamas actually made videos of how it made rockets that attacked Israeli civilians all along. The water pipeline that goes into Gaza Strip, that water pipeline, those pipes were taken out and rockets were made from those pipes to attack Israel. And Israel's point is those who are crying about humanitarian assistance being stopped to Gaza Strip, those who are saying water supply has been stopped to Gaza Strip or electricity supply has been stopped to Gaza Strip, why are those voices silent when Hamas terrorists take out the water pipeline and make rockets out of those pipes and kill innocent people in Israel? So this duplicity on terror, this cover fire that is given to Hamas terror, that is being called out extensively by people here in Israel. Even as we speak, there are those voices who say, all those people who say on humanitarian ground, resume water supply and gas supply to Hamas-held Gaza. Why is it that no one is telling those people, release the innocent hostages that you've kept for over a week in the most inhumane condition, release them and then talk about water, gas and food supply to be restored? Nabila.
Right. Gaurav, as Israel has now directed or asked the United Nations to send out a message to Palestinians to move towards safety, to move from the region that they are, the Gaza Strip area, towards the north of that area. Would you be able to tell us how far is Israel planning to attack the north of Gaza? As we know that Hezbollah has also been mulling over joining the Hamas in attacking Israel, and that could happen any time now.
So Israel has fought a war on multiple fronts in the past, but would Israel want to do that at this stage? It would appear unlikely. Purely from military point of view, you do not open multiple fronts. And that is why you have the USS Gerald Ford and Eisenhower coming into the Mediterranean Sea. The moment the two aircraft carrier strike groups are in this area, it sends out a very clear message. Okay, we are being told to move some distance because the tank movement will now start. That entire road has been cleared for tanks now to move forward. That first tank is now moving out, and soon you'll see the other tank also move forward. So this gives you an indication that anytime now, perhaps days, hours and days, not weeks, that Israel will be moving forward with operation against the Hamas. Of Israeli armor. The Israeli armor with all its might, with past precedents, with experience of having taken on territory that has been held by the Hamas, They intend to dislodge Hamas completely from the Gaza Strip and not let it remain a potent threat. While they do that, while most of their forces concentrate on the southern front, they also have amassed numbers on the northern front to ensure that the Hezbollah does not attack them or surprise them on the northern front. Some attempts have been made, but with the presence of a US aircraft carrier strike group with 100 fighter jets and the second carrier strike group coming close, this would indicate that Israel would have the added advantage of having more than 200 fighter jets, transport, small transport aircraft, electronic intelligence aircraft, attack helicopters, transport helicopters, and capabilities where aircrafts can be repaired on board that aircraft carrier. That aircraft carrier strike group comes with its own destroyers and frigates and tankers and submarines. It's perhaps one of the world's most potent platforms across in these waters, which will strengthen, give a major boost to Israel's firepower and defensive capabilities. Nabila.